Sunday, Sunday, everybody. It is May 1st. It is a new month. Um, I am Miss Pink.
I don't know if y'all can hear me, but my screen is frozen.
Oh, no, I can hear you though.
Yeah, I just can't see. My screen is frozen.
I don't know why it's not frozen on this side. I can see you moving. I can hear you.
I guess it's just my computer then.
Um, so as y'all can see, this is how May has been going thus far as one day, and the weather is already crazy today. But this month, of course, we're going to be talking about Lupus Awareness Month, and it's also Mental Health Month. And y'all know we talk about mental health just about every week that we have a show. So also, I wanted to know that on May the 10th is World Lupus Day, so wear the color purple. I will be rocking the All Points District hat that we got from Boss Chella. Shout out to All Points District.
Oh, I had mine on yesterday. I gotta tag him in the photo.
Oh, I did see y'all was turned up. Y'all was turned up for Damo's sister's birthday. Y'all.
Yes, for Domo's birthday.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna talk a little bit about some facts about lupus. I have actually we I know you knew Takana as well. We went to school with Takana and
Hmm.
she passed away. It's been almost 12 years now since she passed away, and she had lupus as well as when I worked for Park and Planning. I had a child who was diagnosed at a very young age. Lupus affects African American women at a higher rate than any other race. It is estimated that lupus affects 1 in 537 young African American women. We tend to develop it at a younger age, specifically between the ages, some as young as 15 years old. They're saying that's what the research has. The research for lupus is what they say the most complex because it's very hard to diagnose. It can affect multiple organs in the body. So I'm going to give a little bit of background. Lupus has been deemed as one of the cruelest and mysterious diseases. It's unpredictable. The autoimmune disease that ravages different parts of the body, causing the immune system to attack healthy tissue rather than fighting the infections. It's hard to live with and challenging to treat, possibly and sometimes leading to possible fatalities. The information that I'm reading from is from lupus.org. Common symptoms can be extreme fatigue, painful and swollen joints, cognitive issues, fever, anemia, photosensitivity, hair loss, abnormal blood clotting, mouth and nose ulcer,
Photosensitivity, hair loss,
chest pain with breathing deeply, fingers turning white or blue when cold. So those are to be some of the common symptoms, but as I stated, it's hard to diagnose. They said sometimes it can take up to 6 years for people to be diagnosed. I'm gonna put up this little flyer that I had to drop some facts. So they haven't quite figured out what causes lupus, and they haven't figured out a cure yet. They have been working on it. There is research dedicated. If you go to Lupus, www.lupus.org, you'll be able to see some of that information. that I've already covered, as well as if you would like to donate to help them continue in the research. Because lupus symptoms are unpredictable and cause debilitating pain, it can damage organs or tissues. On average, it can take 6 years for people to be diagnosed, as I stated. I apologize, y'all. The weather just ain't been my friend, and now my allergies been kicking my ASS. But while we are experiencing technical difficulties, I am going to pause with some of the information and allow Phyllis to hop back in with us. Okay, y'all? So we're going to take a little mini early break.
Three beautiful young ladies sitting right here. Y'all see all this black excellence. So I want y'all to introduce yourselves and introduce whatever it is that you're selling, okay?
Hello, my name is Chase, and I sell poppets and purses, and that's it. My name is Kayla, and we sell poppets, bracelets, and soap.
Hello, my name is Cynthia, and I sell bracelets, keychains, and rings.
Okay, so they said they sell bracelets, poppet purses, keychains, and soap. Did I miss it? And baskets. Okay, so what's the name of y'all company?
AKC Shop.
Okay, so how can we reach you guys? You guys have like an Instagram or website? Go ahead.
AKC Shop 3.
All right, so make sure y'all support these young entrepreneurs. Here with
James.
And James, you are the owner of
Omnifurs.
Okay, so can you explain to the people what that is?
So Omni means all, rather than all shapes and sizes and forms. Omnifur is, in a nutshell, means I am all. Like, it's in everything, like life, energy.
All right, y'all. So it's a clothing line. That's what I'm trying to get him to tell y'all.
Yes.
He gave y'all what the meaning was. I'm trying to get him to tell us. Okay, so tell us what type of clothes do you sell?
I sell sports, but I'm certified in couture. You know, I like the jazzy look. If you want to be jazzy and you want to step out on the scene, I got you. And everything from scratch, sewed together, everything.
Yeah, y'all see that? That's his shirt, okay? Everything from scratch. Okay, the camera right there. You know, give the people a preview. Okay. Oh, he make everything. Okay. So can you tell us how we can reach you?
Oh, I'm on IG, Omni Movement Co. And then
Okay. So I'm here with
Christian.
and you are the owner or whatever business venture you have here.
Yes, variety necessity products. We're doing all shea butters, socks. We have scented shea butters. We have self-defense weapons and natural shea butter from Senegal, Africa.
Okay, y'all. So if y'all need to come get some self-defense stuff, they got you over there. Okay, so can you tell the people how to reach you?
Yes, my Instagram is FLUCSS. 202-534-2109 is the contact number.
Okay. And can you give us your business name one more time, just so the people can remember?
Variety of necessity products. Instagram FLUCSS.
Okay, thank y'all. Make sure y'all like, follow. Turning guest. Okay, she's been on our show before. As y'all can see. Okay, so. Alright, so what is your name and the name of your company?
My name is Faye, and the name of my company is House of Lupus 1950.
Yes, as y'all all know, I always talk about her because that's all that I wear on my lips. Hello? Okay, so what do you sell?
I sell lipsticks, I sell lip glosses, and I also sell lip liners, and there is more to come.
Period. And I got some of everything. I got almost all her products. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. No me. Anyway, so how can we reach you?
You can hit me up on IG at absolutebeauty_. That's where I'm mainly at.
Okay, so we are here with Toddler Gang. Okay, the Toddler Gang. Okay, all the kitties. So tell us what you do, what products you sell, like where we can find you, where we can read you, anything you would like the consumers to know. Okay, so I specialize in toddler clothes, 2T to 5T. Sometimes I go to 6. You can find me on Instagram. It's toddler_talk. I'm sorry, toddler_gang_clothing. And I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. Them babies love me. Okay, y'all heard it from Miss Toddler Gang herself. Okay, that the babies love her. Our clothes is fly, so she got the jacket, representing gang gang. So, is there anything else you would like to tell the people? What made me come up with the name? I can tell you that. I was always known in the family to only watch babies. I ain't never watched the toddlers because they were always bad. Like the temper tantrums, the fallouts, all of that stuff. I couldn't deal with it. So when I got older, I got little nieces and nephews. They would all come to the family gathering, and I just used to call them their own little clique, their own little toddler gang, and there you go, just like that. I drew the logo out and it came to life. So there y'all have it. Toddler Gang. They are gang gang. So make sure that y'all log on, that y'all follow her and buy from her, because I know y'all got some toddlers. All them
Flex D,
pandemic
and I
babies.
represent All Points District. I'm the CEO, owner, designer, creative mind of the whole All Points District.
Okay, so All Points District is a clothing line.
Correct. It's a clothing line that I started in 2018. I've been steady with it, and it's just been nothing but great.
Okay, that's good. So is there a way that we can reach you, like via social media, anything like that, so you give everybody your handle so they know where to go buy your products?
Sure, it's All Points District, ALLPOINTZ DISTRICT, All Points District with a Z. That's on Instagram, that's on Facebook. I'm Lex D, the real Lex D on Instagram too. Just follow me. Yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah, y'all heard him, y'all. Make sure y'all follow him. All Points District, right?
All Points District.
All Points. Follow him. Follow him.
I don't know if y'all can see that.
She feels so guilty. Come to my woman, telling her all affairs. She feels so guilty.
Welcome back, y'all. Look, we told y'all it was the first of the month. This the first of the month, and this weather is just not our friend. But so prior to taking that quick mini break, if you're just joining us, we were talking about lupus, and I had this up. You can go to lupus.org to gather all this information if you want to educate yourself more on it. As I was saying, it can be potentially fatal in some cases. They do have it where it can be managed through aggressive medical treatment and lifestyle changes. As of now, there are only 3 therapies developed specifically to treat lupus, and that are approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. 63% of Americans surveyed have either never heard of lupus or know little to nothing about the disease or the symptoms, which is like a big number, especially how much it states that it affects the Black community at a 2 to 3 times higher rate than Caucasians. So please educate yourself on it. It is estimated to affect 1.5 million Americans, and 90% of them are women. As I stated earlier, it's usually developed between the ages 15 and 44, and it will last the lifetime of once you are diagnosed, because they have not found a cure for it yet. It is ranked fifth in the cause of death among Black and Hispanic women aged between 15 and 24. 55% of people with lupus cannot work full time due to the complications, and the average annual cost to be treated for lupus is $50,000. I don't know if you saw the segment that Oprah Winfrey just did. Well, I feel like that conversation we've already had in the Black community, where depending on where you live does judge the amount of care that is received. Um, I like when celebrities can hone in on those topics, but I feel like they're not quite reaching the right audience, because it needs to be more of our politicians involved. And
Well, I think with our politicians, a lot of they get adequate health care because we pay for it with our tax dollars. And I just think that we aren't, I think people that are actually from the areas that have the, I don't want to say they call the food one a food desert, but have the less quality healthcare. I think those people need to be advocates because y'all see it. Um, I didn't see what Oprah talked about. I saw a headline when she was saying that she didn't come out her house for a whole year because COVID. Saw that, but I just think that the country as a whole, we too busy worried about the wrong things.
mhm,
We too busy worried about women doing what they want to do with their uterus and their fallopian tubes and their eggs. And too busy worried about the word gay as opposed to making sure that people have the access to the healthcare. And even with Planned Parenthood, everybody's not going there to get abortion. Women are going there to get mammograms and pap smears and STD and STI tests and everything else. But it needs to really be brought to awareness because as a teacher, there are students who want to play sports, but they can't because they're not getting physicals. Or I know DC has a mobile clinic that goes around and does the physicals, but they do it at the beginning of the year and the end of the year. And it's like, okay, you should do it every season because you have athletes that
mhm.
play every season. But I just feel like people don't think about those things or look at it, the bigger picture.
Mm, I absolutely agree. Well, I was having this discussion the other day because my sister actually got COVID for the second time, and she'd been vaccinated, so it was like I know it was extremely frustrating for her to have to go through it again. And she was sharing her experience of when she went to the emergency room um, in this new state. And so I've always shared this, that I'm gonna say specifically Southern Maryland Hospital is one of them places that I would never go. Like I could be in an accident right outside their building. Please take me to another hospital, please. Um, the level of care at some of the hospitals really need to go under investigation for it, specifically their emergency rooms. Um, and it was even prior to COVID. They should have been having investigations with certain hospitals because the wait times and the level of care, it's almost like you can tell some people are just there for their paycheck.
Mhm.
And in the healthcare, that's probably one of the worst places to be, to just have a job just so you can get paid.
a lot. But healthcare now is it's about the money. It's not about saving lives. It's not about making sure people are healthy. It's all about the pharmaceutical companies trying to get paid by these doctors, keeping everybody up on meds or trying to build the insurance because even now, like because of COVID, doctors' offices were shut down. But now it's like when you trying to make an appointment for, something that you need to get checked out, it's like, oh, we don't have no appointments for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. And it's just like, what? And I feel like um a lot of companies now are really trying to recoup like those
Mhm.
co-pays and all the other stuff that they weren't getting for a year because we weren't going anywhere. So most of the hospitals was filled up with COVID, most of them, or of course, people were still having babies because babies don't know what's going on in the world. They just know it's their time to come. Um, but I just feel like the Medicare now is all about money. Like people our age, we pay all this money for health insurance and we barely use it.
Listen.
So that's why I'm hurt. I'm going to see somebody doctor because y'all taking this money out my paycheck every
Mhm.
2 weeks. I'm going to use it.
This year specifically, I probably seen my doctor more this year than I have in the last since the pandemic started, honestly. And I done already met my deductible. That's how I knew that I was like, oh, this year is just one of them years where I'm really gonna put all that money to work because um trying to get an appointment during COVID was hard. Even now, um it's like I feel like because if your doctor didn't see you as much as she needed to, she's requiring a follow-up appointment. Why are you trying to make me
Yeah,
feel like something wrong with me?
that's
Ain't
why
nothing
I'm saying it feels like people are trying to recoup because even with my injury, my ankle injury, that lady was pushed. She looked at my ankle. She did one movement. I said, "Ooh, it hurt." Physical therapy, man. What? Like
wrong.
you have great insurance. That line right there made me feel like, do I really need it, or are you just trying to get the money because you see that I have great health insurance?
Man, I
These
got
people,
sent to physical therapy this year, and I swear I only went to like probably like 5 appointments. I was supposed to go for like 12 weeks, and I'm like, why am I paying y'all $70 a week? And these are stretches that I already do at home.
exactly. My ankle
Like,
getting better though. I ain't gonna. I've been rehabbing it in the gym, rehabbing it with my trainer, and it's been feeling a lot better as we could see on Friday night. Shout out to the one band.
shout out to the
Thank
one
you for coming
thing.
back, Bishop. Thank you.
Yeah, Friday was a lot of fun. Don't ask me what happened halfway through the night because it's a blur, but it was definitely fun. Um, yeah, I was hungover yesterday. I didn't really do too much. It's super hangover because apparently somebody told me I should drink on the way home. But yeah, um, but so as we were talking about lupus and this lupus awareness month, um, how we're tying this into mental health is, especially for people who are newly diagnosed with something, um, it can be a considered like a traumatic event to them. There's so many things, a wide variety of things that fall under mental health. We did a show last year called "Are You Really Okay?" Some of the things that fall under mental health are depression, PTSD, stress, anxiety. Um, we had bipolar, eating disorders, ADHD, and a lot of people who fall under the autism spectrum. It is, I'm not going to say required, but it should be something that goes hand in hand with their mental health. people who suffer from addictions. All of these things fall under mental health awareness. And so, what I did want to do is because we've had this conversation before about how we try to show up for our friends, but we don't want to always take on those heavy emotions because it can begin to affect us. And so, there was a site that I found that basically was advising people to know their limitations. Do not try to push yourself to, be there for people who are might be going through a mental health crisis. Please reach out to other resources. A good website I found was seizetheawkward.org. I will put that website in the description title. um, they have conversation starters on there for anyone experiencing. Some people go through like bad breakups that affect their mental health, um, dealing with the loss. Suicide awareness always ties into mental health that we talked about. Um, and because Pride is coming up next month, of course, the LGBTQ plus community. Um, they all have a lot of resources for anyone that is having mental health awareness. So again, that website is seizetheawkward.org, or you can call 1-800-273-8255. So one thing with mental health, we're finding out, especially, I don't like to say post pandemic because I feel like we're still in it and we're still feeling a lot of these effects like this inflation. um, the warning signs and the ages that it affects is not just adults, it's definitely starting at a younger age. Um, just paying attention to those warning signs of seeing someone who may be sad or down for an extended period of time consistently, if they're withdrawn, talking about, harming themselves, unexplainable mood swings, lack of sleep, their academic performances, extreme irritability, suicide or death talk, out of control behaviors, weight loss or gain in short periods of time, um, excessive complaining of headaches or stomach aches, and lack of concentration. I will let you speak to some of those warning signs when it comes to the younger generation, being as though you work with the younger population.
So, what they're seeing now is with COVID that there has been an extreme rise in mental health um, issues with children. Of course, for years we've seen the suicide rate amongst children go up a lot, but we're also seeing that COVID played a lot on children's mental because you have to think about we were out of school for 2 years basically, and with those 2 years, um, you have to really think about how you had some students who were in school who were A+ students who had no issues, who had amazing friend groups, and they got to play with their friends at recess and all the everything that you typically do in school. All of that got taken away. And first, remember, we were only going to be shut down for like a week or 2 weeks. Then it turned into 30 days. Then we was basically shut down for like 6 months. And so you had kids once they decided to go virtual who really who struggled with keeping up with work and keeping up with their assignments and logging on to school and things like that. Because just like as adults, when our routine is broken or
Mm-hmm.
it's shaken up or changed, we it sometimes we don't adjust always immediately adjust very well to change. And these kids are the same way. And you have to also think about you went from being in a structured environment for 6 to 8 hours a day or 6 to 7 hours, depending on what grade you're in, to now I'm at home and I'm only logging on for class for 30 minutes, depending on what grade you were in, or I'm only logging on class during this time and that time. It takes a lot of discipline to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As someone like I did my whole grad school online. I like online classes because honestly, sometimes I just don't like being around people. So it gave me an opportunity to, I didn't have to log onto no Zoom or nothing like that. All I had to do was so pace myself, put myself on the schedule and do work. But imagine a 7-year-old where it's like they don't have a parent in the house that's
Mm.
constantly in the house with them.
And it's no structure.
There's no structure. So that's difficult for them. And then now what we're seeing is now that kids are back in school, they're struggling because people have lost people through COVID, all these different things that went on, and no one talked to them. Well, they didn't have anyone to talk to. And so they just moving along through life. And I think a lot of times um, parents miss the sign sometimes. Like, if your child is very outgoing, very bubbly, always in a good mood, and that changes, then you need to check on that. Like with me, every morning I check my students' energy. Like, I'll be like, we're going to check your energy at the door. Like, how are you feeling? Where are you at today? How are you feeling mentally? Because now we truly have to do that. Because what I say all the time, especially dealing with these kids, is a lot of times how these students react to you as an adult, it don't even be about you. It's about what's going on at home, the peer pressure from their friends. Like, these are all things that you have to pay attention to as parents. Watch how your child, because there's always going to be signs, so you have to pay attention to your child. But another thing, what I am seeing is a lot of parents don't know their kids,
Mm-hmm.
so it's hard to really pay attention to those signs. And also, we're seeing a rise in suicide in student athletes. I think that's something
Depression.
else that we need to look at, because when you're a star athlete, like, you really feel like all of that's on your back. You got to be the best at everything, or people are pressuring you, because sometimes it's not necessarily how they feel about themselves, but trying to impress others or have that strong mindedness for others. So definitely pay attention. I just think that we really need to check in with kids. And my coworkers and I, we've had these conversations amongst ourselves, because I really am concerned about the mental health of our kids. I really am, and I work in SPED, and I work with kids that have all behavior issues, and a lot of it is their environment, and we really got to figure something out, because it's difficult. It's difficult, and I mean, I thank God that I've never lost a student to suicide or anything like that. But of course, I have lost a friend to suicide. And as y'all all know, Damo from the one band, that was our, he came on, he talked about it, our friend, Pimp. And we never saw signs. Like, he always just seemed like he was just cooling. And I mean, now that, like, we've had conversations, I mean, it was things that I didn't know, but now it's like, oh, those were signs, those were red flags, you know what I'm saying? But I think that was something that we really wasn't talking about. But I think I'm just saying to parents out there, just checking on your kids, check their
No
mental.
matter how old they are, but definitely don't think because You know, your child is happy today and they might have a bad day the next day. Like, you don't always have to yell at your child to communicate with them. Or I know y'all get frustrated as parents. I'm sure y'all do. But sometimes we have to remember that they have emotions just like we do as adults, and they haven't learned how to release it the proper way sometimes. I've seen it from working with kids in different backgrounds and different areas, and how a lot of these parents are consumed in trying to provide for their households, that they just don't, they feel like they don't have that time to show up for their children, not realizing that it is a big detriment to them. um, I've actually been surprised at like how the numbers of child suicide have been rising.
I think bullying. So bullying has always been around. Okay. But I feel like it didn't have that spotlight. Like we was in school growing up, people made fun of people. I'm pretty sure our parents did the same thing, grandparents. You it's happened. Like it's nothing new. But I just think that with these kids, I really don't know why bullying. Like bullying is something that seems to have be is cool to some kids. And I think a lot of times society has played a major role in bullying and things that we're seeing with these kids. But you have adults, I'm talking about teachers too, administrators, all that, who don't take these things seriously, who
Hmm.
don't support the children that are being bullied, who see the bullying that's going on, and some don't do anything. Now, granted, some do. And you tell the parent, and then the parent doesn't do anything. So that makes it harder. But I think um, this generation, mentally, they're just not as strong as past generations, because I think I know, like, for me growing up, basically it was instilled in me like not to care what people thought about you, because people are always going to have an opinion about you, people are always going to have something to say. And I think now, since we're in the social media world, when you post something, that allows people to give their opinion, that allows people to say whatever they need to say, and then that people are reading it. And I tell people all the time, words have power. I don't care what y'all say, but words do have power depending on who they come from, how often they're hearing this, and how often they see it or whatever. It just depends on the words. And I just feel like with these kids, like that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the result of social media, and we're seeing Instagram and them wanting to look a certain way or be a certain way, or because you don't have the freshest J's on, but you got these Walmart shoes on, like that's something to talk about. And it's crazy because that is why they started having kids wear uniforms, because they didn't want the kids to get made fun of. Let me tell y'all something. As a teacher who worked at schools with uniforms, the kids are going to find a way. Either your pants is high water, your black shoes is dirt. They're going to find a way.
I'll find something.
They're going to find something. But I think we need to get back to watching what we say, what we do. But it's hard because this generation
With social
truly is
media.
influenced by social media.
Yes, and to piggyback on that, I realized that a lot of the kids now, if they're lacking healthy compliments from the people in their household, they go to social media for that validation. And then when it becomes that negative feedback, that's where we get into a lot of those spaces where you have kids who are concerned all the time what the people on the outside think of them. Um, and it's not enough guidance counselors for all the kids in each school to be trying to deal with the social media stuff. The social media stuff has to be managed at home. I made a post a couple of weeks ago about how we live in a country where they always want to talk about family values and how much they really promote it. But then you turn around and you have so many people who have to work multiple jobs to provide for their household to take away from having that quality family time.
But
Um,
the government, they don't care. They don't
they don't.
care. And I'm not saying that it's all the parents' fault, but a lot of things that I've been seeing it's the lack of the parental support. Now, there are some parents, I get it. Like, you a single mom, you gotta work to keep a roof over your head, because just like a lot of us, one paycheck away from being homeless. So I get that. I understand that. But we also, I think about back, even back then, like, there were single moms that worked 2 or 3 jobs, but they still they made their presence known, whether it didn't have to be physical all the time, but you knew that if something was wrong or something was going on with their child, they actually cared. They were actually concerned, and they would do the best that they can. You know what I'm saying? But now these kids, they not monitored, and social media, YouTube, all those things run their life. And I like it's so crazy that you said that about how kids are not hearing, the positive compliments at home. When I tell you that these kids nowadays, a lot of them don't know how to say positive reinforcement because it's always negative. They don't know how to respond to, oh, you did good. Oh, yeah, like, you look nice today. Or they don't know how to respond to that. They only know how to respond to negative enforcement or like yelling. You could tell, like, can you stop? Nice, calm voice. They don't respond to that. It's like Pavlov's dogs. They don't respond to, no, for real. That, okay, for y'all to be like, I'm calling the kids dogs. No. For those that study psychology, y'all know that was a
Hmm.
study that was done to talk about conditioning and how they had the dogs, and he noticed that around a certain time or whatever, that the dogs, their mouths would start to salivate because they knew that it was time to be fed. So it talks about the different type of behavioral conditionings. So look that up. I'm not trying to, call nobody kid dog. And also look up the Stanford uh, prison experiment as well. That's another one that talks about environmental factors conditioning a brain. Anyway, let me put my masters back on the shelf. But what I'm just saying is, when it comes to like the mental health part and our kids, and you even see this played out in adulthood. If
Hmm.
you weren't given that validation as a child and then taught to validate yourself, you're constantly going to seek validation from other people. And until you learn to love yourself and be comfortable with yourself, you're always going to struggle. And it's hard because I see it so much with our kids. And I work with little black boys. And so I'm always in the class like, no, y'all black kings. Like, no, y'all smart. Y'all this, y'all that. Because they're not, you can tell that they're not hearing this every day. So that's why when they spell a word correctly, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's what's up. Like, or if they off by a letter, I'm like, no, you gotta, it starts young. It starts young because y'all believe it
Hmm.
or not, y'all, which what you start to instill in these kids and condition these kids, they take it into adulthood. Now, of course, as you go through life as an adult, things are going to change because you experience different things. But I think talking to your kids, giving them that positive reinforcement, those positive thoughts and all those things, it will help your mental health. And it's funny because a lot of my friends said they scared to kill themselves because back in the day, what the fear was. Your kids say you're going to hell. So now we can't use the religious aspect anymore because a lot of people don't have a religion. So those of us, well, I ain't taking myself out because I got things to do. But other people who aren't strong minded and don't believe in God or whatever, like we have to find ways to make them understand that their life has value. Because
Hmm.
I think that's where we're at when we talk about suicide and depression. And we have to teach coping skills with those too when it comes to mental health, and
Yes.
let people know um, that it's okay to feel how you feel, but not stay there.
Hmm.
And I think that's the struggle that we see with people.
I think it is, and that's why like it has been, especially within our generation, the fact that we are acknowledging it more, and the importance of it is just as important as your physical health, because like for I know a lot of people watch what's that, My 600 Pound Life or something it's called, and
Mm-hmm.
how the doctors before, a lot of times before they sign off on these weight loss surgeries, is they make them go and sit with counselors to make sure that their mental health is going to be able to withstand the changes that they're going to go through. I think that's important even for sometimes children. Like if you as a parent or any adult figure, if you can't find the right words or how to approach children for things, it's okay to get use the resources out here to have someone that can help them healthily talk through these situations so they don't grow up to be these adults who are shut off, emotionally immature, um, and
Anger.
just right, and wreaking havoc everywhere. I think we did a show when we talked about how on Real Housewives of Potomac with Candace and her relationship with her mom,
Mm-hmm.
even though she's in therapy, she does not want to address her part in certain things in order for her to grow. She just wants to point fingers. Part of that growth process is being able to be accountable for the things you have control over.
But
And
that's the part, the accountability part.
that accountability is hard for so many people, where I be looking at them like I don't understand why it's so complicated. Like it's okay that you're not always right. And so it trickles back to who somewhere in your life somebody always made you believe that whatever you said and did was the right thing to do, and they did not
Mm-hmm.
hold you accountable, because accountability is something that only you can uh, be mirrored by what you see, but there's also something, if you provide these examples, that people they'll take heed to it. Once they've gotten into the worst kind of possible situation, that accountability is going to start eating them up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
So I looked on this website. It's called Project Healthy Minds, and they did a lot of surveys with over the last year. Nearly 96% of people who took the survey experience anxiety. Nearly half of those people experience it frequently or all the time. I feel like that number has doubled specifically, to the pandemic.
Yeah,
But there are a lot of
definitely.
people who didn't even realize that they suffer from anxiety issues. They thought it was just regular nerves.
I didn't realize I had it until I did go to therapy, and my therapist was like, she was like, you have mild anxiety, so it's not severe. Even though I do feel like my anxiety has gotten a little bit worse with COVID. Um, but and I've talked about this before, like my anxiety is over things that I can't control, which is like most of our anxieties, but it's also my um my fear of the unknown, because I'm an overthinker. So
Mhm.
when things are happening, like I'm always playing like different scenarios in my head, like, okay, so if this goes this way, like, can I do this? Like, so my mind is always like on go. But it's just finding ways to cope with anxiety. And I think, like you said, a lot of people don't even realize they have anxiety. They just be like, oh, this is whatever. And oh yeah, I'm just nervous. But it's like when it's frequent, and I've had panic attacks, or I've had to keep myself. Actually, not too long ago, like probably like 3 weeks ago, I had to keep myself from going into an anxiety attack, because I was just upset about a whole bunch of stuff. And of course, my boo thing had to kind of like calm me down in the midst of the anxiety, but like it's a lot. That's why I feel like it's gotten worse. But people don't ignore the signs. Just don't ignore the
Oh,
signs of
yeah.
anxiety, because anxiety is real. And when people tell you that they have it, don't take it lightly, because what anxiety looks like 1 minute we're fine, and then the next minute like, and then our anxiety isn't always high. Like my anxiety, sometimes I sit and I'll start like tapping my feet or
Mhm.
something like that, or like depending on the situation, like I'll pace if I'm by myself. A lot of times I'll pace the floor. Um, so everybody's anxiety isn't like, oh my god, I can't breathe. Like
Yeah,
everybody
it
has
looks different
different.
for different people. I can definitely attest to that because a lot of times if I'm in public places by myself, I'm gonna make a phone call. I have to be on the phone with somebody, and
Mhm.
people are always like, "Well, why are you like?" I'm like, I wasn't always like that, but a mixture of the pandemic and a mixture of, traumatic events. It's not that I don't feel safe. It's more so of I'll have nervous energy. So unless I have someone else's voice or something that can semi distract me, like I don't know what it is, but I'll get clumsy as hell for no damn reason.
I'm like that. If I'm like driving somewhere and I get lost, like I get like really bad anxiety, because I'm like, oh my god, I don't know where to go. Like, I used to be, I used to be like that with being on time, but I've gotten back. Now I'm kind of at a place for most of the time I'm on time, but I'm not. But I used to be like freak out if I would be late, like because I don't want to be that person. Um, and so that's anxiety too, because it's like I don't want to miss nothing, or I don't want to be
Yeah.
too, you know what I'm saying? So though it's anxiety really looks different for everyone. And it's funny because I just read an article where Jada Pinkett Smith just said that she suffers from anxiety, and it's just like um are you saying this because of what happened, or like do you truly suffer from this anxiety? You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like it's been a lot with that situation. And I feel
Yes.
like there's some mental health issues there, to be honest, between her and Will.
Mhm. Um, I feel like though she has the red table talk, um, I personally liked it more with Will, when he first got on social media and he was being very like open and vulnerable about, where he was personally. He wasn't discussing nothing about his relationship. It was just personally about the accountability and happiness, about the things that he chooses to do and how he chooses it to share with his family. I feel like that was um, good, good examples for other men to look at, that you it's okay to, do your own thing. You don't have to be up under nobody, but also having someone who holds you accountable. um, I've watched so many men on social media who have taken their bad experiences from the past, and just refuse to think that anybody cares about how they feel, and so they just don't talk to nobody.
But I also think, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, women have to stop weaponizing a man's emotions.
Hmm.
And I think that's what makes it difficult because when they do open up, you know, you make fun of them. Oh, you soft, you this, you that. Oh, you crying? What you crying for? Then it's like y'all get in an argument. Oh, you was crying and da. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't do that. Like, and I think also that comes with childhood because with the whole boys aren't supposed to cry, like suck it up, you fall, you cut yourself, you bleed and you scrape your knee, get back up, you a boy. Like, no, it hurt. It hurt. Okay. My skin is on the ground. Like, you
Right.
know, and and I think like this is why it's so hard for guys to open up because it starts at such a young age. And crying doesn't make you any less of a man. You know what I'm saying? Because we all have feelings, we all have emotions, and it's not crying is not a female emotion. If that was the case, then women would be the only ones to cry. We all feel this. I mean, hello, most of it. Well, I ain't cried when I came out the womb. I just want y'all to know I'm a real soldier. Uh, God knew. But anywho, it's like no, but I didn't cry though. But most babies come into the world crying. So why do you feel like once you reach this age or once the boy is walking and he falls and hurt himself, he's not supposed to cry? Like he came into the world crying.
But
Like what?
it goes back to people being worried about what others would think of them.
Yeah. But
Um,
women, please, and I've said this on this show before, time and time again, please stop weaponizing these men's emotion or these men's. I'm sorry, y'all. Please stop doing that. If a man looks at you as a safe place, cherish that.
hmm.
Because a lot of men, they're not opening up. They're not opening up to anybody. So if they're sitting there opening up to you, making themselves vulnerable to you, crying in front of you, like whatever the case may be, you need to cherish that. But don't weaponize it because then you make it harder for the next woman that he dates that or the woman that comes along that's truly like trying to be there for him emotionally and mentally and not telling him that he can't open up. Y'all really gotta stop doing that.
Yes.
Stop.
And I feel like women do that more than a lot more times than men. Um, we've had this conversation before about people having platonic friendships, and
Mm-hmm.
how there's always a discussion that they really believe that it's impossible for a man and women to not have a platonic friendship, which is still beyond me. Um, but when you have friends, whether it's someone that you've hung out with repeatedly, or they just happen to call you and say, "Hey, do you have a moment to talk?" Anytime someone asks you to talk, like, please take it seriously, because you could have been the last person that could have saved them from going to the ledge.
Hmm.
On the other side of that, please do not take advantage of these people who are offering that safe space to you. Um, as what you talked about earlier of knowing your limits and boundaries when it comes to, those heavy emotions and processing it. So that means you have to constantly work on, self-care and your mental health in order to be able to help someone else. Um, Along with Project Healthy Minds, they had another quote that work and financial security are the primary drivers of anxiety for young people. 50% cite these as top sources of anxiety. Absolutely. And we've said this a million times on the show that we are definitely the generation that will say, fuck this job if they ain't treating us right. We would be out in a heartbeat. And I think that has confused the generations before us a little bit of, how much of a priority our mental health really is. We're not staying at jobs that are not healthy for us mentally or physically. The pandemic really exposed a lot of these big agencies, and when it came to really caring about their employees, I feel like I'm going to be going back to therapy when they tell us we have to go back into the office. But that's mainly because the agency I work for now. But uh, I just want going forward that, especially in the Black community, please, whether it's for yourself or for your child, please go and use the resources that are available, because there's so many different resources out here available. Not all of them will be pricey. If you have a good job or you work multiple jobs, I guarantee you one of them three jobs is going to be able to um, offer some type of
Well,
mental.
it's required. It's called, I can't think of the name of it, but anybody who has a job that you have health insurance, that you're paying health insurance, or they're providing you with health insurance, there is a program. I cannot remember the name of it because that's how I got into therapy. That you can go to. Sometimes you're offered 3 sessions, 5 sessions, whatever. They'll give you like a therapist to go to, or send a referral, whatever. The therapist will reach out to you, you plan it, go to the therapist. And then depending on like if the therapist that they sent you to accepts your insurance, you can, then make your own plan and continue to go to that therapist. But every job that offers that you have medical insurance that you are paying into, or if they're paying for yours, because my last job they paid for it, there everybody has access to mental health care. Everyone. That it was, I believe, when President Obama passed the Healthcare Act, that was another thing that was in there. So you have that. It's called C something. C. It's like some acronyms. But you have access to that. So I definitely would take advantage of that, because that is something every company that has health insurance, that offers health insurance, they are required to have to offer you mental health uh specialists as well.
Yes. If you are in need of any of the resource websites, I do have some information for the state of Maryland, because of the agency that I used to work for. So if you need any of those resources, please reach out to me on podcast Instagram or Facebook page. I will definitely help you make sure you get a hold of that information. this month, please do. I don't care if you decide to take up yoga, if you decide to go on nature walks, nature hikes, do something productive for your mental health and self care. Um, it's definitely important. I feel like because I work from home at this time, that I force myself to go outside no matter the weather. I will go outside at least 3 times a day. It's something about fresh air, even though the pollen is kicking up right now. It's something about fresh air that helps you reset and refocus your energy. Um, Another tip for anxiety that I saw on TikTok was cold water. Submerging your face in cold water can help shock your body back to a calming space. You can do it whether you're in the shower, close to the end of your shower, turning the cold water on. I have tried that technique myself, and it has helped tremendously. Um, but there are so many resources that can assist y'all. So this is one of three of the last shows prior to us taking our mini break. We are going to drop a pre recorded episode for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is next Sunday, guys. Make sure y'all do
Mhm.
something for your mommies. Most of y'all always do. I feel like, yes, I love my mama and all the mother figures that I have. Mother's Day has always been a super celebrated day. I feel like fathers don't always get that same shine. So I'm going to have something special. I want to, even though it's going to be on Father's Day, I'm still going to do gift baskets for a mom and a dad, but they will be released on Father's Day. So I will be dropping that information for y'all to get those tickets, those raffle tickets later on this week. Um, Fearless
Mhm.
to wrap up today's show.
All right. Well, first of all, just piggybacking on everything that we talked about, just take care of yourself overall. Your overall health. Definitely mental health is important, but your physical health is important as well because mental and physical health go hand in hand. Your body responds to stress and anything in your environment. So anything work related, school related, friend, relationship, all like your body finds ways to respond to all of those things. So please make sure that you take care of your mental health and your physical health. Have those tough conversations with your family, especially people of color, about the different diseases and different things that run in your family, cancers, whatever the case may be, because we don't have those conversations. And I understand that as African Americans, it's also hard because of our ancestry. Like a lot of us, we don't know where we came from. We just know we here. So we don't know how far back things go and stuff like that. But definitely take the time to take care of yourself holistically. Also, um, it is Teacher Appreciation Week. Okay. Please, please, please show some love to all of the educators, all of us. And I'm not talking about just teachers, I'm talking about teacher assistants, behavioral techs, one to ones, cafeteria ladies. Show love to everybody that plays a role in your child's life at your child's school. Because when I tell y'all, we is tired. We is tired. Okay. And listen, I don't want no, oh, here's a mint because you just mean so much. I don't want that. Don't, no. Appreciate me, okay? Let teachers, we like wine, we like food, we like candles. Like, we like stuff that's going to have us relax from after dealing with your kids, okay? So definitely show some love, even if it's just acts of gratitude, words of kindness. Love on y'all teachers this week because, baby, let me tell you something. I'm tired. I'm tired. Okay. But shout out to all the teachers. Cause if it wasn't
Yes,
for y'all, if it wasn't for us, these children wouldn't be getting their education. and they wouldn't have nowhere to go. And we may not always see the fruits of our labors, but just know that we out here, we planting them seeds, and eventually they're going to grow. All right. That was a word right there. All right, y'all. Just always, take care of yourself. It's a new month. Y'all know my thing for new month. New month, delete stuff, check yourself, new goals, set new things, set things in motion. We got 31 days this month. Let's get it. Always remember to live fearless.
So to piggyback on that, yes, shout out to all the teachers, and I feel like I know a lot of teachers, and some people that was teachers I didn't even know until recently. Shout out to y'all for dealing with these people's kids.
Baby, I'm tired.
Because between the kids and the parents, I don't know who's worse sometimes. But definitely shout out to y'all, and definitely want to give all of you guys y'all flowers. You definitely deserve it to take the stand to teach other people's children on a daily basis and truly care. That's the key phrase, to truly care
Because a lot
about
don't
other
care.
people's children
Mm-hmm.
is a testament in itself. What do I want to say this week? Don't get so caught up on trying to meet your goal by a specific date that you don't get to spend that quality time with the people that matter with you the most. Definitely dedicate that time to the people that care for you. Don't be so focused on the things you see on social media or the people who have attained certain things that you want. Whatever is meant for you, you will get it. That does not mean do not be disciplined, but do not beat yourself up about not being on a certain status by a certain age. Please don't overwork yourself, because everything you're trying to do and attain, you can't take that with you when you cross to the other side. So please enjoy your lives. Please, mental health, physical health. Hopefully we can get some stable weather in May, because April was a little shaky. So I hope spring really, whip winter's ass finally.
Please, because this cold got us in the chokehold.
Yeah, it was kind of cold on Friday night. But no, we love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in and for the support. And y'all can always catch the Mother's Day episode next Sunday at 6 p.m.
Bye, y'all.
Hey, y'all know the fuck going on. Look. Early morning, waking, baking, fucking bitches on a daily basis. Just texting, no conversation. Give a dick and baby, no relation. Gotta keep it basic. Jug when I'm modulating. Nigga, work is my occupation. Never obligated, listen to the hatred. Just a search of sticking, cause you know they hate. Early morning, waking, baking, fucking bitches on a daily basis. Just texting, no conversation. Give a D and baby, no relation. Gotta keep it basic.